Hello everybody and welcome back to artofdino.com and saveearth.us, and I have found one page from December 1st, 1893 in a newspaper, the Camden Chronicle, that has 3 amazing articles on it. And I'm going to read the first one here today, which is called In a Palace of Onyx, a wonderful underground trip in Missouri, a cave containing spacious chambers where nature's finest architectural work is on view. So wow, and again, this one page you'll see. Stay tuned for the next couple videos because they are going to show it as well. But amazing amounts of information that you just can't find today. All kinds of different things that would not be found today in any papers because they do not like to put anything good in there. And especially about the past and the hidden things underneath our feet that are everywhere. They don't want you to know. So here we go. Southern Missouri is full of nature's caprices. Sportsmen who frequent this part of the state at certain seasons of the year return telling marvelous stories of dogs lost in caverns and of wounded game escaping in rocky grottos. Hunters following wounded deer into these recesses in the mountains have found themselves lost in the mazy windings of underground galleries. Recently, a party of St. Louisans, including a writer for the Republic, visited a recently discovered cave in Camden County. The entrance, says the writer, is about 50 feet from the river, and the little stream which flows from it reaches the water of the river by a beautiful cataract some 20 feet from the mouth of cave. And I am willing to believe that right alongside every single river is where where all of these civilizations thrived, and that's where the most treasures and amazing things will be found underneath. Just like how they used to build every city around Paris, if that was the main like Paris and all those other places, that was their main mode of transportation on the water. How they did everything, trade and all that stuff, everybody should be digging near the water sides. So here we go. Let's see, both of the cave, 20 from the The entrance to the cave is about 6 feet high and 5 feet wide and is overarched by an immense ledge of limestone. The sides of the entrance are curiously carved by the falling water from the bluff above, and here and there in the crevices maidenhair ferns wave their fronts in the cool breeze. For at least 50 feet the passage continues with the same dimensions at the entrance. At the end of the passage we seem to enter into a world, sunless, moonless, and starless. The light from our torches was unable to penetrate the darkness in any direction. Wow. Soon, however, to the south, the darkness broke and a rocky shelf pushed itself out into the light. Then another and another until the south wall stood out in outline on our right. Then the ceiling came into view, and finally the north wall became visible. We were in the grand auditorium, a room 70 feet high, 125 wide, and 300 feet long. The walls and ceilings consist of rough limestone, and the effect of the light from the torches is marvelous. Shadowy galleries occupy the sides, and straight above the vaulted roof seems wrought and builded rather than natural. Very important. Again, this is the old civilizations. How did they even do this? Like, how did they even cook out the underground stuff and all this? Is like such a thorough reset that took place whenever it happened. It was so thorough. So here we go. Shadowy galleries occupy the sides, and straight above the vaulted roof seems wrought and builded rather than natural. The floor is of fine polishing clay, rather sticky, and in many places can be seen wallows made by bears, which used to infest these underground castles. At the end of this room, the cave becomes much narrower, yet retaining the same height as the auditorium. Wow. In the grandeur of a look upward, revealing precipice on precipice overhanging the narrow passage, led one of the party to name it the Covered Cannon. This passage, appearing to have been caused by the action of water, winds its way into the heart of the bluff in an easterly direction. We travel on, peering into the billowy darkness ahead or glancing with enthusiasm at the weird shadows on the lofty ceiling, when immediately in front of us, and apparently 50 feet from the floor, a ghostly figure seems to be balancing itself in midair. Jesus, I'd be terrified. We find ourselves in another large room, circular in shape and arched with an immense dome, from the center of which, like rich drapery, thousands of white stalactites hang. One of these, at least 12 feet long and fantastically wrought, is the ghost which we had seen. From the floor arise to the height of 15 feet rich stalagmites in various shapes and figures. The outer rim of the dome is upheld by massive columns of crystal, the surfaces of which shine like marble. The walls also reflect the dim light, and each crevice seems a jeweled recess into which one would need only to reach a hand to become immensely rich. Jesus. Leaving the beauties of this wonderful room behind, the party push on with eyes ready for new specters. A walk of perhaps 2 minutes, then the roof begins to rise and the walls diverge. To the left, a mighty column of onyx, 20 feet in diameter, seems to bar the way. Like, what? How are these? Can you go and see these things now? St. Louisians. I lived there at one point when I was like 1. But anyone out there, has anyone ever seen this or been to this place? And why has it not been fully excavated and on display? But here we go. Its massiveness is excelled only by the beautiful tints of its surface. This marvel is called the Onyx Temple, resembling in its stateliness and grandeur some of the ancient cathedrals. The onyx from this room is said by experts who have examined specimens of it to be the finest in the state. This seemed to be the end of the cave, and half of the party, after securing some fine specimens, started for the entrance. They had scarcely passed from view around a turn in the cavern when one of the remaining number found a small opening at the right side of the column. Before us was the grandest sight we had yet beheld. The Grand Dome, exclaimed the leader, and indeed it was. 70 feet above hangs an immense stalactite resembling in the weird light of the torches a group of carved candelabra. Probably was. Elegant tapestry of stalactitic rock hangs in such graceful ease that it almost seemed to move as the smoke from the lamps slowly rose toward it. Below rises an onyx altar 8 feet high, and surrounding it nature has so arranged the stalagmites that with little fancy one can see the robed priests. To the left of the altar, and surrounded by a narrow rim of onyx and crystal, is the baptistry, a pool of the clearest water, 2 feet in depth and 6 feet in diameter. Adding to all this and perfecting the harmony, a faint sound of music caused by dropping water pervades the vast chamber and causes one to realize as never before the awful grandeur of nature, and most likely created by man. And sadly, the seems like it's more of the haunting of a past civilization than the grandeur of nature, but still a little bit of nature processes, obviously, in the decay. Here we go. Scattered over the floor in varied contours are little pools of water, separated from each other by thin rims of crystal. The roof is literally covered with stalactites, and from the walls and galleries, slender columns with crystal capitals reach down to onyx bases. No words can describe the beauty and grandeur of this underground chaos. The passage becomes narrower and the roof lower. The floor consists of rugged boulders of lime and sandstone. Precipices yawn upon every side. Deep wells dug by genie hands, that's a Tartarian reference, stand with uncurbed openings, waiting to refresh the gnomes of the sunless world. The whole scene is enchanting. And again, wow, 1893, and this is the time when they're finding all of these things. I am so envious of these people during this time period, because they are exploring things in a time that's kind of uninhibited. The population is so low that they just kind of can explore these places. There's no cops, there's no trespassing signs, there's no cameras that are telling them, no, you can't go there. It's just freedom to discover, in which we do not have nowadays, and we don't have it because they don't want us discovering these things. But even still, where is this? Are people going to this? Is this now a tourist site? Would see the massive altar of onyx come down in this tunnel and see this ancient cathedral passageway? This seems like it should be something amazing that is still around today and still being talked about today. But I don't know, I haven't heard anything about it. So anyone from Missouri out there, I would like you to chime in and let us know if this is still a thing, and if this is out there, if there's any other new news from it, any links to it, anything else, if people partying in there or something. If this was in my town, you bet I would be partying and exploring it with my friends. But could only wish to have stuff like this. Talk about adventure. Amazing. I wish we could get back to this time, and I wish a team of all of us would get the freedom to go and explore some uncharted places and just experience these things. If I had ever come across a cathedral like that with water making music that harmonizes with the stalactites and the surrounding everything, I would probably sit there for days. I would go back there every day for as long as I could and have do art there. I would do everything. I would search every nook and cranny for any type of treasure, any type of knowledge, any type of insight into the past. It's a shock that these things could be uncovered or and not obsessed over. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it's been destroyed or something, or if someone's built on top of it, or some kind of ridiculous thing was placed on top of it. And it would be nice to know, because if there is a golf course or a something like that, a cemetery on top of this nowadays, then we know, again, that's more proof of their method of hiding things. And again, wow, this history, this is all factor. These are all unknown, untouched factors of our history in this country. And to go and ignore it and destroy it deliberately and hide it and do all these different things is detrimental to our purpose here on Earth. And so hopefully we can break free from this, and archaeology can regain its balls and start doing cool things again, because these places should be all over the place. People should know about this. This should be celebrated as part of the history that we have. These places should be honored. They should be cherished. They should be saved, and they should be excavated so that we can find out more and more and more. These are all below us everywhere. So get ready, keep digging. We gotta do it. But I hope you all enjoyed this little video on this article, and again, a good glimpse into the past. I hope you all have a great day, and share whatever you can below, add to the conversation, and have a great one. Bless you all.